Welcome back to another tutorial. This is the second part of the Android login registration system. Now, last time we did our DB Connect class. Okay, so today we're going to do our DB function class, which is another PHP file that we're going to create. Okay, so whenever you're ready, just go ahead and create another file, and this one will be called DB function. Okay. So save it as DB function or functions.php. So DB functions for S with an S at the end, and save it as a PHP file. Okay. And then once you're ready, you can say class DB functions. And then inside this, we're just going to start creating our variables and so on. So private $DB. Okay. Then we say function underscore construct. Okay. And then in the construct, we're going to say required underscore once. And this time we're going to need the DB connect. Okay, DB connect.php semicolon, and then we're going to say $this is DB equal to new DB connect. Okay. We say $this DB connect. Okay. So in this case, we're going to say this instance, we're going to call the connect function to connect to the database. Okay. And then once you have that, then we'll move on to the next one. Say function underscore destruct. Okay. And we're just going to leave that blank for now. And then the next method then is the method we're going to use to store our user, okay, or add our user. So we're going to say public function store user. Okay, and then in the parentheses, we're going to have $name, $email, $password. Okay. And then inside, then this is where we're going to start, getting all our informations in order to add into the database. Now remember, the user table will expect these guys here. Okay. These guys that I have highlighted, excluding these guys, because this one is it's a UID and it's auto incremented, so we don't have to import it in. And this one we just have to import it in if we made any changes to the user's details. So if the user updates their information, then we can add an update time. Okay. So the first thing that we need is say $UUID. So that stands for the unique ID. Okay. And then we're going to say unique ID. I'm going to say quote comma true. Okay. And then the next one is going to be $hash is equals to this. Now we haven't created this function yet, but we will create it later on. So we say hash SSHA. Okay. And this will take in the password. So the next one is $encrypted underscore password, just making sure that I spelled all this right, and is equal to $hash, and the hash then is going to be of type array, which will have two separate objects. One will be the encrypted password and one will be the encrypted the encrypted password, and one will be the salt. So this one will be encrypted, okay, and then the next one is the salt. So $salt is equal to $hash bracket, and we're going to log for the salt. Okay, so this method here will return an array type which will have two objects, one encrypted and one salt. Okay, and I'm going to say $result is equal to MySQL query. Okay, now this is where it gets a bit long, so just make sure you follow along perfectly, otherwise you might get some error. Okay, so I'm going to say insert into users, okay, bracket, and then we're only going to be inserting into certain things. So the first one will be unique underscore ID. Just remember the way we formatted our table. So unique ID, okay, and make sure the naming is perfect. If the spelling is wrong, then it's going to give you an error as well. Email encrypted password salt created at, okay, and then the values will be okay, so the values will be, the first one will be dollar UUID, okay, don't forget the single quotes, okay. The next one will be the name, so that'll be $name. Next one will be the email, so $email. The next one will be encrypted password, so that will be $encrypted password. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to push this down here so you can see what I'm typing. Okay, so $encrypted password. Next one will be the salt, so $salt. And then the last one is the datetime. You can just say now brackets, and then that will get the datetime of that particular time the user registers. Okay, so I'm just going to put this guy back here. Alright, just make sure you have all of this. So UID, name, email, encrypted password, salt, and the datetime. Okay. And then don't forget the semicolon at the end. I probably forgot mine. Okay, and then after that you're going to do an if statement to check if the result is either true or false, or if we got anything back at all. So if $result, then we're going to say $UID, okay, then we're going to say MySQL underscore insert ID bracket, and then that will return the ID if if this SQL query is inserted perfectly, it will return an ID. So if this was the first user that registered, it's going to return like 1, and then that will be stored into this guy here. Okay, so this will return 1 if this is true. Okay, and then we're going to say $result, okay, is equal to MySQL underscore query. Okay, then we want to do select star from users where UID is equal to $UID. Okay, and say semicolon, and then we're going to say return MySQL underscore fetch underscore array. Okay, and then you say brackets, and we're going to say $result, close the brackets, and then a semicolon. Okay, now if the result is true, then that means we already have a user in the database. Okay, then we can just grab the ID of that last insert, and then we can grab the information based on that ID, and then once the information is returned, then we can just get the array of that result. Okay, and then here we say else. So if the results didn't go in, then that means something happened, so we're just going to say return false. Okay, so else return false, and that's that done. Okay, and then the next method then is to get the user. Okay, to get the user back. So the next one will be public function get user by email and password. Okay, so get user by email and password. Say bracket $email, as you can guess, and password. Okay, so we're going to pass in the email and password, and then it's going to get the user. So this particular function will be used to do our logins, where this one will be used to do our registry. Okay, and then here we're going to say $result is equal to MySQL underscore query. Okay, bracket. Then in the brackets we're going to say select. So select star from user or users where email is equal to $email. Okay. Okay, and then we say or die. So that will return an error if our query wasn't successful. Okay, and then we're going to say $num of rows, okay, is equal to MySQL underscore num rows. Okay, brackets, and then we're going to pass inside is the $result. Okay, so we're counting the number of rows. Well, we're getting the number of rows returned after the query was sent. And then here we want to say if $num of rows is greater than 0, That means we got something back, or a user exists. Okay, then we're going to say $result is equal to MySQL, okay, underscore fetch underscore array in $results. Okay, and then we want to say next one is the salt. So we get salt. Now remember, we need to check the password as well. We only got the user back by the email, but we still need to check if the password matches. So we need to get the salt and the encrypted password and check to see if the password match. Okay, so salt is equal to result. Okay, let's say square brackets, and then inside we want to say salt. Okay, and then the next one is the encrypted password. So encrypted, so $encrypted password is equal to $result square brackets, and then we want to say encrypted password. Okay, and then we're going to do a hash. Say $hash is equal to $this. This is another method that we haven't created yet, but we will create them down below. So we're going to say check hash SSHA. Okay, so check hash SSHA. So this method will do a password comparison. Okay, we're going to give it a salt and a password, and it's going to see if the salt in the password matches, and then it's going to return whatever the password is. Okay, so this particular method decrypts the password. Okay, so inside the brackets we're going to say $salt. Okay, and then we're going to say password. Okay, and then we're going to do an if statement. We say if $encrypted password is equal to hash, $hash, then that means the user successfully logged in, or just successfully authenticated. So you can say $result, okay, semicolon, and then else we're going to say return false. Okay, all right. All right, this is probably the longest one. Well, the longest file of all the other APS files. After this one, there's only one more file, and then we'll be done with the APS. We can start working with the Android application. Okay. So the next method, okay. Now the next method is going to check if the user exists. Okay. So we're going to say public function is user existed. Okay. And then this will require an email to check if the email is available within a database. Okay. And then we're going to say $results is equal to MySQL underscore query. Okay. Brackets, and then in the query we're going to say select star from, actually sorry, my bad, we're going to say select email from users where email is equal to, now single quotes, we say $email. Alright, close the single quotes. Okay. So select email from users where email is equal to the email provided, and then we say semicolon. Okay, and then we count the number of rows again. So we say $num underscore auth underscore rows, okay, is equal to MySQL underscore num underscore rows, okay. And then in the bracket we want to say passing $result, okay, and then we want to say if $num of rows is greater than 0, okay. Oops. Sorry, curly braces, and then we say return true, else return false, okay. Don't forget to save your file. Okay, once you have that done, then we're going to do the last two methods which I mentioned earlier. Okay, so the first method will be public function hash SSH, okay, and then that will take in the password. Okay, now this method will be used to encrypt the password. Okay, so we're going to say $salt is equal to SHA1, and then it's going to be a generate a random, okay, just like that, semicolon. Okay, the next one is $salt again is equal to substring, okay, and the substring is going to be of $salt, which is the previous one, comma, and start from 0 to 10. Okay, so it's only going to get the 10 characters. Okay, so after that you say semicolon and go to the next one, and we're going to say $encrypted. Okay, encrypted is equal to base 64 uncode. Okay, base 64, and then we're going to say SHA1 bracket, then we say $password, okay, space dot space, we say $salt, comma is equal to true, okay, and then after the brackets you're going to say $salt, okay, say semicolon, and then after that you say $hash is equal to array bracket, then in the array you want to say quote salt, okay, and then that will be equal to $salt, comma, and then the other one, which is the encrypted is equal to $encrypted, okay, and then that's how you're going to create that array. And then after that you're just going to say return $hash, okay, and then for the last method, which is the decryption method, okay, we want to say public function check hash Okay, and then that will take in the salt just like before and the password. Okay, and I'm saying dollar hash is equal to base 64 encode. Okay, brackets, and then we say SHA1 brackets, and then that will be dollar password. Okay, dot dollar salt, comma, this is true, brackets, space dollar, so space dot dollar salt, brackets, and semicolon. Okay, and then we say return hash, semicolon. And then once you have that, then you're pretty much done. So that's the DB function done. Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to go over it. The store function then will add the user to the database. The get user by email will get the user back by email and password. Okay, the is user existed will check to see if the email is already in the database. Okay, or if that user already existed. And the hash SSH will encrypt the password. It creates an encrypted password, and it also creates a salt. Okay, and then the check hash then would decrypt the password. So it's going to take in the salt and the password and the encrypted password, obviously, and then it's going to decrypt them and see if it matches. Okay. Now, once you have this done, then we're ready to do the last PHP file, which will be the actual main API, which will then allow us to send in post request and get request. Okay. So I'll see you in the next video.